Hey, hi, hello, and welcome to the after party, the first after party, in fact, of Campaign 4 that takes place during fall, as of the time we're recording this. I know our school year started in the fall, but now for us, canonically in the timeline, in real life, it is actually physically fall. And I want to start, there's no time for chatter, y'all. Fall is here. It's a precious season. We can't waste it.
So you gotta fall into the mysterious
Brandon,
stuff.
shut up. No, you can't. Please don't talk unless you're telling me what soup you are most excited to eat / make this season, because our first question comes in from Mila Pave, who said, I tried the soup called Roberto last year on Eric's recommendation, and I'm excited to do it again.
What the hell is Roberto? I don't remember this.
Roberto is a soup that Helen Rosner invented, archaeologized, and it's like this tomato, kale, sausage soup, and it's so fucking good. The other thing is that I asked for after party questions, and I posted this soup that I got at Mimi Chang's, which is this dumpling place, which is next to Village East Cinema, where I saw, like all good boys, I saw One Battle After Another in 70 millimeter. And it was a collaboration between Mimi Chang's and this place called Jack's Wife Frida, which is like a very brunchy place you might see on Instagram in New York City. And it was chicken soup dumplings.
Ooh.
Where instead of matzo balls, they were dumplings, but they were filled with matzo balls.
Wow.
Yo, that sounds good.
And then it was like chicken soup, carrots, and a ton of dill. It was so good.
Nice.
Homie, that is so Eric coded.
Amanda, this is a workplace. Can you not call me homie?
You're right. I'm sorry. It's not appropriate.
One of my favorite soups to make once the weather starts getting colder is that like Greek lemon chicken soup. That's
the one I can never pronounce.
Yeah, I can't pronounce it either, and I've tried so many times. But it is super creamy, not because you like add heavy cream to it or anything, but you basically make like a very frothy egg mixture and then slowly temper it into the soup, which thickens everything, and it's delicious.
Yeah, that one's a good one.
I had the flu last week, Julia, and my sister got me a quart of that from the Greek place. It had onions in it. No problem for me.
Awesome.
My body was just like, give us the nutrition.
Hell yeah.
It's like we have bigger fish to fry right now.
They really triaged the immune response there.
Julia, I think it's pronounced lemon.
That's true. Might be.
I've been making frequently this, I think it's Bon Appetit recipe. It's just broccoli cheddar soup, but it's so fucking good. They do, you add like cheddar topped croutons on top. So you're basically like eating the bread and the soup at the same time, and it's like cheese it and delicious. It's good. It's real good. I eat that all the time.
As a Texas boy, where is the line between cheddar soup and queso?
Oh, that's a good question.
Is it a thickness indicator?
It's like a ratio thing, right? So like,
Julia, this is a workplace. You can't bring up thickness indicators.
Oh,
I don't know what the ratio would be, but I'm sure it's got to be like at least 80-85% cheese. Otherwise it ain't queso, because it's called cheese. It's called queso. It's not called queso soup.
What about holistically, like to you? Where's the line? Like, would you just drink queso if it had a broccoli in it?
Yes, but I'm a crazy person.
How many florets do you need in a queso for you to start drinking it?
Me, like 0.
Okay.
Me personally, zilch.
This is more of an art, not a science, Brandon. So just like whatever
you
your heart
see me
feels.
like a Gilmore Girl with a giant mug. I'm like, ooh, this is so good. And it's just
La la
queso.
la, just drinking queso. just a cup from Torchy's Tacos and someone playing a guitar in the background.
Torchy sucks now. Don't go to Torchy's anymore.
Well, yeah, now they've expanded too much. That's true.
Dang. Well, here is an even more join the party coded version of this question from Sarah KJRD. Give us your best soup recommendations based on your characters. What soup do you think each of your characters would recommend? Everybody knows that Rowan is going to recommend a classic matzo ball soup.
Of course. Classic.
So there's a soup that I remember making when I was like first starting to cook, because I was like, what are weird things that I've never tried before that I can make cooking for myself? And this is what I think Kraft would make, and it was called burnt toast soup.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
And I think that would be what Kraft would make for people.
Is that just water and toast? What
No,
is it?
I'll pull up the recipe exactly while Brandon comes up with.
Oh, okay.
Do you use like the burnt toast as part of the roux, so the roux gets like super dark or something?
I think it's something like that for sure.
Yeah.
Fun. I think Connor would do sort of like a
Beef stroganoff.
Yes, beef stroganoff. That's not really a soup. It's a stroganoff.
Hey Julia, this is a workplace. You can't just assume someone's soup is beef stroganoff.
What is a stroganoff? No one knows.
It's a sauce.
I think you would do sort of like a, I guess, quasi minestrone situation, but like more because he just like puts everything he can into one soup and calls it soup.
A real like clear out the fridge of all the wilty vegetables situation.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But tomato based, so minestrone vibes.
I would like to say that I would like to make all characters, PCs, NPCs, villains, I would like to make them food because I care about them, especially in regards to the way I've been playing teachers over the last 3 episodes.
Well, Eric, that's a great segue because there's so much to get into in this after party, which again, welcome. Hey, hi, hello. This has been our cold open, which is actually a hot open because it's soup season. Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I do have the ingredients for burnt toast soup if you'll allow me.
Let's go.
Julia, you have to hit the klaxon that we use for when you have the ingredients of the soup you're talking about.
Thank
you.
Is that
good?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it is thick cut bacon, chicken stock, sourdough bread, hot milk, Dijon mustard, a tablespoon of vinegar from a jar of cornichons, salt, pepper, butter.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm in.
Sounds good. Sounds classic.
Tag yourself out of a tablespoon of vinegar from a jar of cornichons.
I knew you were going to say that. I'm hot milk.
I was going to ask, Eric, you mentioned you've done a lot of playing teachers, talking about teaching and assessments and all kinds of stuff over these last 3 episodes. And I'm going to ask you specifically about final projects as we get toward the beginning of that arc in episode 21. But first, I just want to say, any feelings about projects and school and teaching that you have been ruminating in now that we are here firmly in Camp-Paign 4?
Yeah, I think with the end of Light in the Woods and then going into final projects, I think it demonstrates that, like, especially when you're not at a public school, when you're at a private school, which is, for all intents and purposes, a business, there is going to be some sort of intention going on, which is not education. Like, there's something else going on. And I think that for this school, for Water's Edge, it's train these students to be prepared for being superpowered in the future. And that also kind of involves, like, all of the staff being enmeshed in superpowered nonsense. We feel this way a lot in college, where it's like your professors are working people and also are professors. So then they take the thing that they care about their working life and put it on you, even though you're a student. And like that feels very explicitly in private schools or in college, as opposed to when I was in public school. It's like, let's make sure you don't fail so the state doesn't say something. And I've been feeling that way about Miss Rita and Wordsmith dealing with Light in the Woods, and then I'm feeling about Dr. Ram trying to do this senior seminar where there's obviously shit going on with him that he does not want to talk to teenagers about.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%. You guys want to hear a thing that I learned recently that makes me very mad that is related to that?
Please.
Yeah, sure.
I learned that in the UK, or at least in Britain, they call private schools public schools. I've never been so fucking mad.
That's so confusing.
I know, sweetie. I know.
Like, what do you mean?
Why do they do everything backwards, guys?
Why do they call it public? Then what did they call public schools?
School.
Really?
They call it... Oh, fuck. There was a name for it, but I'm forgetting now what it was.
I like it more when Amanda said that it was just like their school and public school instead of like, so this is basic and then you have the added one. That sucks.
You're at school or you're at public school, like Eton.
God, I hate
It's
that.
so confusing.
Yeah.
Oh, state schools. They call them state schools. It's even worse. They call them state schools, Eric.
Oh, God.
They call public schools state schools and private schools public schools, and then they say cheerio and dance on your grave.
If they didn't have such a scourge of knife crime, I'd feel so much worse for them.
Another great question came in from Pointy Purple Penguin. We're getting toward a milestone in the academic year, so it's time for a milestone kind of reflection for us. Now that we've spent quite some time with masks, is there anything you feel is missing from the system? Are there any mechanics that you find that you prefer in D&D or in masks? Why?
Good question.
I miss the perception and insight check. And I think that like there are mechanics for that, obviously, in masks, but they're a little bit more fluid and a little bit like wonkier. Like I would say perception and insight are such broad categories, or like even investigation. I'll throw investigation in there too. They're such broad categories for D&D, whereas masks has pierce the mask for the sort of insight check, right? But it's still like so honed in because of how the question aspect of that works. That I'm like, no, I just want to know if this person is lying to me or not. But none of the questions let me ask that.
I guess that's the point, right? Like that's how 5th edition has kind of been distilled down, especially in actual play, that like insight check is a lie detector and perception checks are like dump out your notes. You know what I mean?
To that point, the thing that I think I'm missing from Masks is, and this is sort of just like a personal preference, it's not saying that Mask is missing something, but I miss the feeling of playing a game a little bit, which I never thought I'd say because I'm very much a narrative story boy. But yeah, it's not much of a feeling of literally like playing a game together as opposed to making a story together with some prompts, which is also very, very fun. Nothing wrong with that. But I never thought I would miss the sort of like gameplay aspects of D&D, and I do miss them.
Sure, there's no numbers, and you can't bring anyone's HP down to 0, which I do miss a little bit.
What's the point?
I know, what's the point?
Sometimes I want to see those numbies go up or down.
Along the same lines, I do miss the kind of hard reset of the long rest. Bringing up my character sheet every week and seeing that I sure do still have 4 conditions is getting a little old.
But that's good for you.
It is good for me, and I also really appreciate that solving them it's on me to make that a priority or not, and it hasn't been yet.
I think that we just need to do more stuff that clears those conditions. Like you got to act out, or you need to like comfort someone else, you know? Like it's funny. It's like you really got to dig through the crates to figure out exactly the thing you want to do to clear conditions are. Where it's like super easy to level up. It's like, oh, I beefed it. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing, actually, that's actually a good representation of what I'm trying to express in the gameplay thing. It's like I'm frustrated by when I want to clear a condition, I have to do something bad or like, you know, negative or whatever it is, as opposed to just like completing a task and being like, oh, I'm now long rested and now safe. But so I can't like, I have to throw my teammates under the bus in order to clear a condition. Like sometimes I don't want to throw them under the bus, but that's what Mask wants you to do, obviously, to create tension and storytelling and conflict. But sometimes I want to create conflict and sometimes I don't, you know?
Yeah.
It's very fair. Part of me also misses a little bit of the like spatial awareness and AoE effects of like a true in initiative combat. And I know I'm describing like the exact point of moving away from 5e, and a lot of it has been wonderful. But I feel like almost as a player, I'm getting away with something I shouldn't be if I'm just like, yeah, and I do that thing. Like the exact sort of presumption of competence that makes Masks so interesting. And I think is part of the thrilling sort of feeling of playing a teenager, is being like, oh, wait, you mean I can just do this? And then you do it. I do miss a bit the, you know, calculating of distances and AoE and like stacking the order of events during your turn in initiative, maybe because I feel like I really got a handle on it when playing Troy Riptide. But that has been, it's a bit of a grass is greener. Like it's nice to miss things so that when you go back to it, you're like, that's right.
100%, yeah.
Is it going to be a radical act to play 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons again? We'll see, folks.
Praxis, baby.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is a really good example that we can tie to something from some of the episodes that we did. Someone asked, why did Miriam not get choked out when Rowan took the oxygen out of the room? And it's like, well, you got to trust me that, like, although you did really well on it, it's like Miriam's really powerful, so you can't just do that straight up on one move. Like, there's a lot of, I think it's just squishier instead of numbers, which I think is a little bit harder to get your head around. But it feels really clear to me as like, okay, I'm the referee, I'm trying to make this call, but you don't know necessarily what goes into, because I don't want to reveal everything to you. You don't necessarily knows what goes into that call.
Well, Ref, let's bring some structure to that squish, as my creative writing teacher always used to say, and get into the specific episodes that we're covering here in this after party. Beginning with the end of the Light in the Woods arc, episodes 3 and 4 in that arc, episodes 19 and 20 in your podcast feed. A lot of great questions around the information that we found out in these episodes and the events, starting with a lot of questions about Miriam. Let's begin with a question that got a couple of eye emojis in our patron-only Discord, patreon.com/jointhepartypod. This came in from Mike. Did Powers know that Miriam was a threat? And is that why he approached her?
No. Powers just went up to her because he's a fucking busybody.
Yeah, he is, 100%.
I think there must be some level, though. Like, the answer is no on its surface, but I think one layer down is like, Powers were looking around and it's like November and being like, hey, why is there a new person here? And why is she hanging out with these three chuds? Like, I think Powers just kind of wants to get in there. And maybe he has an innate sense as a person, but he doesn't have like a Professor X scanning of power levels vibes.
I bet he could see her as a threat to his like popularity and or standing in the school.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
Non-Powers related.
Yeah, like it's his responsibility to like greet new students because he sees himself as like a real British private school or Japanese private school prefect sort of guy. Because he's number
now,
one,
when you say
right?
British private school, do you mean public school?
Brandon.
We can't confuse our listeners.
Like, Julia, isn't this the most like sports anime ass thing to do where like the number one ranked person is like, I'm the mascot of the school. It's nice to meet you.
Yeah, and it's that, but it's also like I'm trying to gauge you as soon as you get in so I know if I need to be concerned about you for the future. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like, are you going to be a threat to me and my standing? I need to know right away.
God, I love Powers so much. He's like what if the most insufferable person you knew at school, who was like your valedictorian, was also knew it? Like just knew it the entire time. Like instead of just like being annoying because they supposed that they were the best, like actually knew they were the best the entire time.
Tough.
Yeah. Tough
Stuff. Also having a pretty tough time in these episodes, Miriam. A lot of questions about her. Okay, here's one from No Hugs, Just Bugs that I think incorporates and encapsulates a lot of what folks are thinking. Bugs says, I'm so confused about Miriam. Did she expect to be able to learn every single thing there is to know in 12 hours? Was there something in particular she asked Wordsmith about that he refused to tell her? I feel like I was urging her to just be patient. Ugh.
Yeah. I mean, I think you have to think about, and I think we'll probably get into this in later episodes. Think about like being in a coma for 30 or 40 or 50 years or whatever it is, and then waking up, and then the urge you will have to know everything possible what happened in the past 50 years as soon as you can. Like, people telling you to be patient is going to be frustrating.
Yeah. Especially as a teenager. Like things are happening to you for the first time and adults are like, be patient, it'll get better. And you're like, fuck you. This has never happened to me before.
Yeah.
I imagined so like I have an idea of what happened, right? I have an idea of what happened when Miriam went off with Miss Rita and all that time that went down before you all saw her again and she was freaking out and building her own mud library. Do you want to hear it? Like, do you have your own thoughts?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
I'd love to.
So here's what I think happened. I think Miss Rita took her to like kind of a off-site dorm thing and like put her on some nice sheets. And Miriam's like, wow, these sheets are great. What are they made out of? And she's like, cotton. And then she woke up the next day because remember, she had the container and the sneakers on. So like they gave her a bunch of modern stuff. And she's like, wow, these shoes are so much better than I have. And you have this plate that you could hold for later. That's wild. That's so crazy. Can you show me books now? And Wordsmith was like, no. So she goes back and at some point, they're like trying to give her a survey of everything, like a cursory survey, trying to start from places, and we're slowly like parceling stuff out, and just kind of understanding like, hey, this is what it's like in 2020X, whatever, and trying to give her some specific details, but they definitely lied over what happened in Europe in the 1930s and 40s. And I think Miriam's like, wait, hold on, wait a second. Like, what was that? Like, I'm really good at learning. I'm a really good student. I'm picking all this stuff up. And Wordsmith is like, never mind, we're doing powers assessment. And I think
mentioned World War I. Did something happen after that?
Why did you say one first? That's crazy.
Yeah, why did he call it a one? It was just the Great War.
Yeah. And I think at some point she either pushed them or snuck out and looked up just like an encyclopedia and looked up the history, and she just didn't believe it and kind of freaked out. Like, not only did she not believe that the Holocaust happened, but like, was it a prank? Why were they keeping it from her? Because it was mysterious, and it really got her angry and shit. Her powers flared up, and I think she probably freaked out. Fatberg found her, and then everything started moving in the way that it was going. Yeah. I read this book called The Lost Shtetl by Max Gross, which is a really good Jewish book if you guys are looking for it, like very Michael Chabon and Gary Scheinhardt vibes. And it's about a thing like that. There's this Jewish village in the Polish forest that's so secluded that no one finds it until like now. and how do you integrate an entire town? But it was in Poland, so there was a lot of like modern Polish stuff, like, hey, we feel weird about this, don't worry about it, like, I guess it's fine. So Miriam showing up like in America, I thought also they like extremely didn't know what to do. And the fact that like she was sent out on a quest and then both did and did not fulfill that quest, but was also like a young woman in like the early 1900s. The fact that she was able to be taught, I thought was important, and that she saw a lot of kinship with Rowan, that Rowan was cooking. Maybe I could do the same thing. So as soon as it was like she thought she was in a really interesting place and it was taken away from her, of course it was taken away from her because they didn't want to tell her that the Holocaust existed, then she kind of freaked out because she didn't have patience, because exactly what you guys said, she didn't have patience for it.
I also don't want to skip over the fact that we ask a fellow student, Murloc Molms, to do genetic testing on Miriam.
I'm so glad someone else brought up Murloc Molms, because I was concerned we would go this entire episode without addressing Murloc Molms. Hey,
go,
Brandon,
Julia.
what the fuck? Why?
Well, I needed someone to do genetic testing. And
so
I
you
said
the world's greatest detective is a 9-year-old named Murloc Molms.
Who really wants to get on Roblox.
Yep. Julia, there's nothing to say about it other than my brain is broken.
Fair enough.
You guys pranked me, because Julia did this with Cyberpunk too, where you're like, here's Eric, here's just a name, go. Make sure they're plot load bearing. And I'm like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, remember Hedgehogio the joke? Now that's like a real character imperiled with a love interest.
That's true. I was okay with Hedgehogio, though, because I knew I needed to stick Connor with two, like, guy friends. And I thought that flaming skull guy and a dude who loved Tenet was exactly what I wanted.
Yeah. I have 2 episode 19 questions. One is for Amanda, one is for Eric. Amanda.
Oh, man.
Sorry,
left out.
I already asked you about Murloc Molms.
Yeah, your question was,
right.
excuse me?
And you said there's no answer.
Amanda, at the beginning of 19, Rowan is like really nervous about the idea of people being like, oh, Miriam and Rowan look exactly the same. Why was like Rowan feeling so self-conscious about that?
That's a really good question. I think because Water's Edge has represented Rowan's chance to be her own person. Nobody from home knows her there, and she is able to like control her whole destiny, her whole fate. Even the sort of like falling in, she's almost been like trust falling into the reputation of being associated with you guys, and that's taken 3.5 years, as like settling into the identity of being a part of a team. And I think Rowan is somebody who just like takes commitment seriously and doesn't enter into them lightly, and so the idea that someone else who shares her face to some extent will just come in and like be wild and disrupt both a thing that Rowan treats so preciously, but also Miriam's conduct reflecting potentially on Rowan was just like disrupting her entire worldview. So thank you for asking. In my head, that was like completely understandable that, it's like your, sister transfers to your high school, or like I'm a freshman and then the next year my sibling's a freshman and I'm like, oh, what are you gonna do now, man? Like I set this up so nice. Don't ruin it for me.
I was about to say that. Like, can you imagine if, I don't know if anyone has, experience with this on this call, on this recording right now, but if you had like a twin who went to a different school and then transferred into your school, like suddenly one year, and you were like, oh fuck, what do I do now?
Yeah, but like also your twin and the shenanigans that they've gotten up to your entire life. Rowan has known Miriam for less than 24 hours, and the only relatability that they really have is they might be long distance cousins, but they look very similar.
Yeah.
Well, they look the same. They look doppelganger. Remember?
They look like fraternal twins, right? Not like identical, but
I think more than that, no.
Until the genetic testing, I was fully convinced that it was like a clone, like long lost sibling situation.
True, yeah. How close is the doppelganging, Eric?
I mean, hey, Mary-Kate and Ashley are fraternal twins. So when you think about that.
Are they really?
Yeah, they are.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa!
So like fraternal
That's
twins
crazy.
can go anywhere, honestly.
Yeah.
I think the thing, I was totally on board with it because Miriam's strong as fuck. And I think Rowan has I wouldn't say a complex, but likes to see herself as powerful as much as she loves fighting for the limb. So I thought that's what I was getting. That made a lot of sense to me.
Okay. Fair enough.
Good question, Jules.
And then my question for you for episode 19, Eric, was, and I think I know the answer, but it wasn't like explicitly stated, so I wanted to ask it on the pod.
Mm-hmm.
How did the ooze capture powers in Wraith and Team Cast and Hedgehogio and Flaming Skull Guy?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Explain.
It was a great question. I think that they did not really have a lot of information like you guys did, but even less than you guys did about what was going on. So they kind of just like ran off to all these places and they got.
Okay.
Because, I was trying to split. There's like, hey, what problems are you going to deal with? And you three dealt with the most prescient problem, but also the least like dangerous one. Like Miriam was just kind of doing it, right? But the ooze was ready to grab some unsuspecting children who were going to show up, and there were a whole lot of Dr. Prometheus robots around. So I think it just made sense that like you asked your friends to go help you. They didn't really understand what they were running into. I'm trying to think of a better way to make you to not blame you as much as possible.
That's fair. That's fine.
But it's like, they didn't have a lot of information. They got by the biggest baddie in the story. So if that helps.
Yeah.
It does. I mean, that's the choice we made, right? Like we could have split up, and it's possible that one or all of us would have been captured by the ooze, in our separate conflicts.
Yeah. That's the kind of the gameplay. That's how you play Masks. Is like you make a choice and there will just be consequences. Like you could have gotten them all back and you did, but it's like, I don't know. It's not like I killed all of them because you all said you didn't send them all to their deaths, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So it's not like it's not really as big of a deal. It's just like, let's raise the stakes.
I don't know that we know that, Eric. They could be dead.
Yeah, Hedgehogio's dead. Oops.
No, Hedgehogio was alive during Halloween, canonically.
No, that's right. That's right.
Because he was channeling through a hedgehog.
Flaming Skull Guy's skull was no longer flaming inside the ooze, so...
And something's up with Team Cast, because we have Team Cast 2.0.
Team Cast 64.
So much has happened.
Team Cast 1.
Here is a question from Casey, 3 kobolds in a trench coat. Eric, how mad or panicked did you feel when Amanda pulled out the "I'm going to choke everyone and because of burn, it just happens"? And why did you make the decisions you made after it? It sounded a lot more like this could have been a directly engage a threat situation versus an unleash your power situation to me, which would have shut down the automatic success and may have given rise to some more interesting fallout from such a big move. How'd you handle it?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Amanda, what were you trying to do with that? Like, if you could put yourself back in that situation, you're just like, I'm going to fuck shit up?
Yeah, I wanted to shut down the escalation of the threats.
So that's like, Amanda was not punching. Like, Rowan was not punching. That's how I view engage a threat. Like, if you are trying to do damage to a person or a group of enemies, that is what engaging a threat is. Because it's like, you deal blows and then they deal blows back. To me, what Rowan was trying to do was like, do some AoE stop. Hey, everyone stop. And that's also why Miriam resisted it, right? Because Miriam was cooking and could not have the breath taken out of her because her lungs are strong as the mountains, and that's just not how it works.
They're made of stone.
That's Shuttlesstock, baby.
Yeah. So that's why I wanted to do it. The difference between Dungeons and Dragons and Masks is that, like, I don't fear when you guys crit. Because all you do is you do this one thing really well, but then that's only one tally. No matter how well you roll, no matter what 15 Julia gets, like it's not going to do any more damage necessarily. You're just going to do the one thing really well, and that is only one success kind of on the chalkboard, and then the villain immediately responds. Like, that's how fights and Masks go. So I don't get as afraid when you guys do something really sick.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I think it allows you to do more sick shit, honestly.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Tattooed and Tall, speaking of sick shit, says, did anybody else have a mental picture of Kraft running toward the school chugging a literal cardboard box of Joe when she asked for the largest size available from Duncan? I didn't, Jeff, but I do now.
I wasn't either, but I love that. I love that for us.
I called Julia a Duncan girly on something the other day.
How dare
and
you?
Julia got really mad at me.
Yeah. You're like, Julia, I know you're a Duncan girl. I'm like, absolutely not. Are you kidding me?
Julia, you knew those Duncan girlies in Boston. Like, Julia knows what Duncan girlies look like.
And it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Got to be baked in the stuff, in the Joe, in order to become a Duncan girly like that.
It's like in the Uruk-hai in Lord of the Rings, they're coming out of Joe.
Julia, would you have liked it better if when Sabrina Carpenter did her collaboration with Dunkin' Donuts, that the largest size was then the size of Sabrina Carpenter?
Yeah, 5 foot nothing jar of
Jar?
cup of Joe. I don't know, man.
Have you ever had the Dunkin' like this and it's 5 feet tall?
Hey, Eric, what the fuck is Fatberg's deal? I'm so annoyed. He's just so chill and so calm, and I'm like, this is not what I want. I don't want this. I'm gonna fight him.
The three of you were so mean to him, and he's like, good job having agency. It was really fun being able to play someone who's just like, I love everything you're doing, and he sounds like Bane at the same time. He's just great. He's somewhere like between Bane and Krang, or the DC Brain in a Jar as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, weird! I didn't hear any Julia in the mix there. Got him!
That's such
Krang,
a deep reference to something that happened so long ago.
Only for party planning from 3 years ago.
Okay, so we'll have to sign up to be a patron and go back into the catalogs and watch it.
Oh my god. I think that Fatberg has his intentions going on, and I think it's important to him to show teenagers and students at Water's Edge Academy that he's a good teacher and Principal Wordsmith is a bad teacher. And I think that's the way that he does it, by watching a bunch of TikToks and then like reflecting that back to you.
Here's the thing though, is like, I think what Kraft has come to the conclusion of is you can be a good teacher but a bad person, and you could be a good person but a bad teacher.
That's my main man, Dr. Ram, right there.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it kind of feels like right now, for sure.
That's real. What if you're a bad person and a bad teacher? Because I'm asking for a friend, so.
Well, that sucks. Brandon, hey, how are you feeling about that conversation with Anita where she apologized?
Oh, I don't really want to talk about it, Julia.
You don't? Okay.
No, I mean, yeah, I think Connor is not, it was nothing for him. I think.
What?
It didn't mean anything to him?
No, it wasn't a real conversation. It was Connor asking for help, and then Anita not actually taking the time to talk through anything and just being like, be careful. It wasn't an actual conversation about the incident and a real apology. It was just like, he was in an emergency situation, needed help, and she took the conversation to a different place that wasn't appropriate for the time, I would say.
You had more than one important conversation in episode 20 because Connor also unlocked his moment of truth.
Yeah.
Brandon, will you talk to me, please, about what that was like, the decision to unlock it? It's not a one-time only deal, but close to a one-time only deal in Masks. So it's kind of an important decision about when to use it. So what went through your mind?
Mostly, I wanted to make sure I had a chance to use it before the season was done of the show.
Fair enough. You're like, I gotta do it.
I gotta do it. But basically, my whole thing is like accepting both parts of me, the monster and the diplomat kind of thing. And so this was a perfect opportunity to de-escalate using my strength and also words. Like, it was just sort of tailor-made for the situation. Yeah. And I wanted to be able to get Rowan up in there and allow them to talk it out.
I also thought it was just beautiful that you decided to use your moment of truth in order to, elevate Rowan in a way. And that felt like a real teamwork moment.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. It really did. And then we got there and I said to myself, I don't want to have this conversation on this podcast. So I invoked for, I think the first time I joined the party, a sort of a veil from some of our player safety tools, the lines and veils. So Eric, was that expected for you? And how did it kind of affect how you ran the rest of the session to say, let's kind of gesture at and describe the conversation versus having it here on the microphone?
It was stupid and bad, and I thought you should have endangered yourself instead of for art.
Good. Sounds like every DM I hear about on Reddit.
Sick. Yeah, I mean, it was fine. The thing is, like, I cared more about throwing that fish on the table than actually, like, cutting it up and gutting it to finish that phrase, It's like, I loved how no one really knew why Miriam was freaking out. And it's like, I know. It's something that's kind of important and was important to me the entire time that I was introducing her character. It's a theme of this book that I'd read, and I thought it was really interesting and a way to like introduce time travel problems in a more Jewish sort of way. So I was happy about it. Did I need Rowan to like do the whole thing? Like, this novel took like 100 pages to like wrestle with the issue, and I'm like, okay, Amanda, go. Like, it didn't matter to me whether or not it was resolved, but it's more that like, look at it, here it is, things like this are going to be weird and complicated that you can't just punch through, especially with how powerful Rowan and Miriam are.
I thought it was really beautiful too. I really liked it, and I think it worked really well in the story. So yeah. I was caught off guard and surprised, but also like surprised in a good way. Like, oh, this is smart and cool.
I really enjoyed something that I don't know how it happened, but I think we all kind of danced around it for a while. And the only person who said the word Holocaust was Rowan's parents, who was like, "What?" And I kind of thought I gotta really like that from like a syntactical sort of way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Folks, anything else we want to talk about in the Light in the Woods arc before I go ahead and refresh our appetizers?
I find masks really interesting because I think we really could have dug into what was going on with Miriam a little bit more. But I feel like the adults were pushing you really hard. Back with Miss Rita really wanted to receive Miriam. And I'm like, well, I know what happens next. Like if Miss Rita takes her away, then this is where the next part of the plot's going to go. So I think it would have been really interesting. Like I had a bunch of stuff about like Miriam Stettel and her family and finding more stuff out about that. But instead we had kind of had to skip forward to her being upset and expressing that in a very dangerous way.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, do y'all think, and maybe not for Eric, but I'm curious about the players. Like, do y'all think it would have gone differently, or how do you think it would have gone differently if Rowan hadn't tattled?
I think we would have gotten the explicit reason why Miriam was upset. I think Miriam still would have been upset and still would have maybe reacted the way that she did, but it would have been more explicit to us as players.
Yeah, and I just want to take this time to apologize to my fellow players, Brandon and Julia, for fucking narking. I don't know why I thought an appeal to authority would work out in our favor. I was wrong.
You know, it's your character. It's not you. It's fine. You've never narked on me in real life, so.
But also, like, Rowan's not a guidance counselor, and, you know, trusting the guidance counselor at a superhero school that I'm sure has dealt with time traveling and stuff like that beforehand.
To guide or counsel, either one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not a unreasonable thing for you as a 17-year-old to assume.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. This also happened because Rowan did a really good job convincing Miriam to come with her. Like, there's an entire other arc. It's something that I ended up writing out originally for how I thought this arc was going to go. Where, like, Fatberg and Firehawk and the Ooze were it was going to be a little bit more like Airbud, where it's like...
Where they play basketball?
Whereas, you know, like that last scene in Airbud where it's like, come here, boy, come here, come live with me. And instead of like with the terrible clown, it was like, no, come with me, Airbud. You're awesome. Like, I think it was going to be a lot.
That's my line is I don't like clowns and we can't mention them on the podcast.
Sorry.
You got a veil.
I'm sorry. This is the workplace. I'm sorry. And I thought that there was going to be a lot more of like trying to woo Miriam over to one side or another, but because you took her, she was immediately kind of the plot was set in motion in a totally different way. Like Firehawk was going to set more fires up, but you took care of her kind of quickly, and she also disliked you very quickly because of how you messed with her.
Yeah.
And also the fact that Connor was back by himself changed kind of the tenor of everything. How it's like, well, Miss Rita is going to be more involved because Connor is trying to be a good boy. So that plot is getting pulled on a little bit more. Sorry, I shouldn't put that on Connor because the three of you were trying to fulfill your school obligations. Miss Rita is therefore then more involved than what I thought she was going to be.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Makes sense to me.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, like I had some custom moves here. If you're trying to get Miriam to use her powers, use the Unleash Your Powers roll, but roll plus superior, and I will either add +1 or do -1 depending on how she feels about you.
Oh, interesting.
So like if she was on your side, you could have told Miriam to do something, and then she would have messed stuff up with her earth powers.
Interesting.
Makes sense.
I like that.
Right on.
Or she could have done it against you, which I ended up doing. So.
Oh no.
Well, folks, in honor of Miss Rita, I have made us color-changing Jell-O pudding shooters. Not alcoholic, just in shooter form. So
that's just Jell-O.
Let me pop into the kitchen and see if those are set.
It's just pudding in a test tube.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
Be right back. Hey everybody, it's Amanda, and this mid-roll is brought to you by Sleeping with the Windows Open. Sorry to those of you who were jump scared, by the way, with the Brandon mid-roll last week. I was so sick. I had the flu, so thank you, Brandon, for stepping in for me. Did you know, folks, that an annual plan to the Join the Party Patreon gives you a discount on your support of Join the Party? That's right. If you sign up on our Patreon for an annual plan, you get 2 months for free. That means you pay just one time because I'm with you. It can be hard sometimes to sign up for another monthly charge. And you then have a whole year to enjoy our patron-only Discord, bi-weekly party planning, a discount on our merch, ad-free episodes, and more. If that is something you want to try out, you can also do a 7-day free trial over at patreon.com/jointhepartypod. You can gift memberships, an excellent gift for somebody that keeps your money here in the local indie creator space and gives a person you love access to Join the Party Patreon all year round. Patreon.com/jointhepartypod. There is so much going on at MOTW, the podcast collective of which Join the Party is a member, including brand new episodes, including the Tiny Matters Show and Tell, one of my favorite kinds of episodes that they do, from our sister show, Tiny Matters, an award-winning podcast about tiny things from molecules to microbes that have a big and often surprising impact on society. That's everything from deadly diseases to forensic toxicology, all the way out to the search for extraterrestrial life. The episodes are wonderful, educational, they'll make you think, they talk to experts, and you are going to love hosts Sam Jones and Deboki Chakravarty, two incredible women with PhDs who embrace the awe and messiness of science and its place in history and today. So go on over and check out Tiny Matters, which publishes new episodes every single Wednesday in your podcast app. That's Tiny Matters. We are sponsored this week by Uncommon Goods. I'm sorry to break it to you, but the holidays are coming up fast. And if you're like me, you are trying to be thoughtful and also thrifty about how you buy presents for loved ones in your life this year. I really appreciate Uncommon Goods because they make holiday shopping stress-free and even joyful with thousands of one-of-a-kind gifts that you can't find anywhere else. They really look for products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade or made in the U.S., often by independent artists and small businesses. And because they're made in small batches, the best stuff they have sells out fast. So you're not like going to the site and every single time seeing the exact same stuff. Now, my baby brother is getting married this year, which I cannot believe. And it's just a few weeks before Christmas. So I was thinking to myself, oh God, I really have to be on top of getting him and his fiance gifts as well as a wedding gift. And so I went to Uncommon Goods and I clicked on the wedding section and don't tell them, but I got them a very cool wedding keepsake box. So when you get married, there's all kinds of stuff like copies of cards and your hairpins and, flowers from the bouquet and like all kinds of cute stuff. But unless you really make an effort, you're not going to like save them in a special way. So I got them this very beautiful set of like boxes and envelopes. It can go on a bookshelf. It looks so classy where they can save mementos from their wedding. And that was an incredible Uncommon Goods find. And I'm very excited for them to open it and have that as their wedding present before the holiday presents. So shop early, have fun, cross some names off your list today. To get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/jointheparty. That's uncommongoods.com/jointheparty for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods. We are all out of the ordinary. All right, what's the review? Does the puce go down any easier than the like eggshell or
puce-colored pudding? Jeez,
is it Jello or pudding, Erica? You're assuming pudding. I think
she did
Jell-O.
say pudding shot.
Oh, Jello pudding shot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Erica doesn't like Jello, so I made a pudding.
Okay, fair enough. Was this one pistachio? The puce?
No, it reflects your inner state, Julia.
Oh.
So your inner state is feeling puce.
I don't like that my inner state is puce.
It's like a mood ring where it feels the
Yeah.
temperature of your hand and changes color.
Exactly.
Ew.
Puce is such a weird color. I'm just looking at it now.
Yeah.
I don't love it.
Puce, pigmented pudding. Puce, pigmented pudding.
Julia, you in fact should know a lot about sort of color changing and like contact tricks like that because you open episode 21 with the reveal. Kraft is learning close-up magic, baby.
Oh my
That was
God.
so fucking incredible. I was like,
You
am
just
I
looked at me
high?
like
What
I was
happened?
insane.
You are, and it was wonderful.
The question I asked, I think, was, hey, what have you guys been up to? And then Julia said, close-up magic.
Without any pause. I was just like, oh, close-up magic.
It was in your brain. Was it in your brain, Julia, or are you
Yes.
just that good and quick?
No,
Yeah,
no,
were you
no.
planning
It
on
was
it?
in my brain.
Dang.
It will make sense in the future, I promise.
Okay. Now,
Crazy.
who was she learning close-up magic from? Just the internet?
Yeah, the internet.
Okay.
There's
crazy.
YouTube videos. What do you
There's
mean,
YouTubes.
Brandon?
I'm
Yeah.
looking at the summary that Julia wrote up for episode 21, and Connor asked so many people for help in this episode.
He really did.
What's wrong with that?
It's just really funny when you're like, man, I wonder what this scumbag Todd Swapper's doing. I wonder what corporately sold out Jolton Joe is doing. Dr. Rom, I'll be late. I'll be late to your morning meeting. It's fine.
Well, I wasn't late till Dr. Rom because I was talking to the other two. I was just late because I didn't wake up.
No, I know.
Yeah.
It's Connor's priorities.
Priorities.
It's like I'm going to carve out, like, make sure that I'm going to put on my calendar that I'm going to have like 10 minutes before and 10 minutes after, you know, like that setting you can put on Google Calendar to like give you space. It's like, I'm going to make sure I have a full uninterrupted 40 minutes with Jolton Joe, the girl who shut down the electrical grid at the high school and then works a corporate job.
I mean, it makes sense. So in my head, what I was thinking is that like the thing where like you talk to someone who has failed at a thing, so you know all the pitfalls. That was Todd. That was that conversation with Todd. Wanted to see what the situation was when you actually graduate. And then I didn't realize until the meeting that Jolton Joe was a volunteer or whatever the fuck. Like
an intern.
Unpaid intern or whatever. And so I assumed that Jolton Joe had a better job and would to have actual knowledge about how to like get into superheroing as a career profession as opposed to just like, you know, being Superman on the scene or whatever.
I know I'm saying it like out of context, but honestly, that was super helpful. Like you really laid the groundwork for being able to have that conversation with Dr. Rom with you. That like Todd Swapper kind of told you everything you needed to know, and Jolton Joe was like, "Why are you asking me?" And then Dr. Rom kind of said both to you at the same time.
Yeah, and also blew up my pretend bubble of my self-importance.
Oh, you mean the fact that you're a Nepo baby?
Yeah.
Connor.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about it. I just want
No, we have to talk about it. We have to talk about it. As perhaps the best reveal of the episode is Connor's been Nepo babying this whole time. I think there's a question about it, but
Yeah, someone
I just
called
want to talk
Connor a
about it.
Supo baby.
Oh,
and
that
I
was
just
the question,
need-
Spurgeon, Michelle Spurgeon.
The question surgeon herself. Thank you so much, Eric. Quote, since we know Connor is a Supo baby, do you think anyone else at the school is? How do you think the rest of the team will feel about that revelation? We feel bad about it, Michelle. Excuse me,
Yeah, not
Dr.
great.
Michelle.
I will argue that Connor is not a super baby because Anita is not a super until now-ish.
Yeah, but it could be, and we don't know for certain why Connor is staying at the rank that he's staying at, but it could be that Heroes for Hire has scoped him out because of a recommendation from Anita, who works for Heroes for Hire, and therefore wants to keep him in the top 10 so that they can grab him.
Or maybe Wordsmith just like really likes Connor and wants him to be a number 8 the whole time. Or maybe there's like a spell or a curse on the school.
Sure, buddy.
There is, speaking to Michelle's second part of the question, because I don't want to say anything else to Brandon lest he get more ideas. There is a playbook where you are a Supo baby. You are literally like the Robin who is now trying to go out on his own. And it's really interesting. It's a little bit heavy-handed because that becomes like your entire life. I actually like how Julia's playbook, how Kraft's playbook is a little bit more fluid, that it's like this person is lurking in the background but is not actively present. Like if Julia was playing that playbook instead,
It's
like,
the Prodigy.
The Prodigy, thank you. That superhero would show up all of the time.
Yeah. Well, actually, I took a move from the Prodigy playbook with my I've been reading the files.
Oh, well, there you go. That totally makes
Yeah.
sense. Perfect.
Hell yeah.
I think there's been a ton of big reveals about Connor in these episodes. Here's a question from our good friend Bugs. I didn't realize the ranking system wasn't always at the school. Wordsmith was saying that they didn't have rankings when he was in school, and I think I remember about at Water's Edge Academy being established shortly after the LTC explosion. So I'm curious, what incident do you all think caused the school to establish the rankings? And how poorly do you think rankings went for the first class that had to deal with them?
Is this true, Eric? Is this correct in Bugs' estimation?
That sounds like something I said. There you go.
I think you might have said it from Dr. Rom's point of view rather than Wordsmith's. I might be misremembering, but it would make more sense to me that Dr. Rom used to go to the school.
Yeah, I find it, let's talk about, colleges and stuff. You know what's crazy is like that one like right-wing university that Barry Weiss keeps trying to get put together.
Mhm.
And it's like crazy because like the school is getting accredited. Like it's going to be able to give out diplomas, right? So I think that with a private school or with a college, like you need to be in compliance with some sort of educational standards in order to give it out. And I feel like the school changing its curriculum and the school changing its focus gives it more and less credence. I feel like right after the explosion, it was kind of like an after-school program or like just vibes. And then slowly as it became more and more of a formal high school, especially with a private school with money from PJ Lawbody and from others, like what gives a superhero high school its accreditation? I wonder, especially because it's directly tied to its job fair, is that if people wanted to donate, it's like, hey, this needs to be a feeder system for us to have access to students in the future. So you need to have a ranking system, and I think that must have happened at some point.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I can see this sort of like, I don't know if this is actually true at private schools, but like I could see the sort of like, well, if we put a ranking system in place, then like there's a sort of suggestion that maybe your kid is better than another kid, and like maybe that's an incentive for you to start donating more money and get your kid to go to this place. And like, yeah, maybe it's a little bit of a carrot on a stick situation. I don't know.
It's a very like academically cloaked sort of way to get people invested for sure. I remember, I think I grabbed this from the College in the Boys, like that spin-off show from the Boys.
Gen V.
Yeah, from Gen V. And it's really good, but like some things in the Boys, they don't really think it through. They just kind of like, oh, this would be sick, and then like throw it out there. So I thought that was fun to like put in there and then figure out why. So yeah, that's how I'm feeling about it.
Yeah.
Follow-up question from Bugs. Does Connor's existing outside the ranking system mean he's simply too powerful? Maybe he has additional powers he doesn't know about yet? Does a company perhaps already have a claim laid on him and perhaps paid off the school to keep his ranking constant? Count me in for that, but instead it's your auntie over there.
Well, okay, Julia was shaking her head while we were reading that question. First of all, rude. Second of all, why would the company have a claim on him if he wasn't something unique or special or whatever it is, So like, I don't know.
It's also very possible that maybe someone who is interested in the technology that transformed Connor might want to like claim him for science purposes.
That's real like buying a town to get the water rights sort of vibes. Jesus.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucked.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know that his Aunt Anita hates him and wants him to die.
Okay.
So like,
all
yeah,
right.
that's
okay.
It can't be that. It can't be her.
It's very funny because I think this is something I learned a lot when I was in high school and college and beyond, that it's like people who are successful, like, do they get opportunities because they're good, or are they good because they get opportunities? And I think it's a very interesting sort of dynamic depending on who's invested in what. Are we invested in Connor and his abilities? Are we invested in Connor for what he represents? Are we invested in Connor because the science, the piece of science that's inside of him? It's an interesting question. And yet the only thing we see on the surface is that Connor can not do his midterms and still keep his rank.
You don't think that's weird, Brandon?
I think Connor's just really cool and smart.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Another thing that's just really cool and fine and regular, also a question from No Hugs, Just Bugs. Assuming students at Water's Edge go missing somewhat regularly, is there a plan in place for when this happens? Is being kidnapped an excused absence? Will Hedgehoggio, Team Cast, and Flaming Skull Guy still graduate on time? They've lost a lot of class.
Excused absence is very funny.
That is very funny.
If they get recovered, they will graduate on time, yes.
Okay.
Oh,
good.
good.
Good to know.
Now, if your roommate gets kidnapped, do you get tuition waived for the semester?
That's so dark, man.
And it's not a no.
It's not a no.
It's not a no.
I don't know.
I mean, I think we'll learn more about this if there is or is not a plan in future episodes, but
I think so too.
who can say?
Who can say?
Here's a great question for Julia from Soup Dumpling. After Kraft was asked, unprofessionally I may add, by a teacher for an assessment of a student, does Kraft have any doubts or judgments about Dr. Rom?
I love Dr. Rom so much. He's such a bad teacher.
Good guy, bad teacher.
No, unfortunately, Kraft thinks he's the coolest now that she got to talk shit about a person.
That's how it goes. That's how it goes.
And follow up for all of us, what do the players as full-ass adults TM think about this question being asked from a teacher to just one student?
Oh, it's an insane question to
So
ask
unprofessional,
a student.
dude.
Yeah.
So not okay.
Am I a full-ass adult?
Yeah.
You are.
Oh, no.
Legally, yes.
What's gone wrong?
Oh, no.
I mean, that's the line, isn't it? It's like if children think you're cool, you probably did something that is not appropriate.
Yeah, that's about fair, Eric. That's really revising my memory of high school quite a bit.
Yeah, Amanda, Julia, think about your theater teachers really quickly.
Yeah.
There was only one. There was only one. And he taught that class for 40 years.
Yep.
Oops.
Wow.
Whoops. Uh-oh.
Another Julia question from Super Shmup. Can Kraft grow a new arm if hers gets lost?
No.
Oh,
No. It reattaches, but it's not lizard technology.
Oh,
Not
no.
yet.
What if a tiny arm appears?
Oh.
Like a little baby
No.
arm.
No. It
Yeah.
has to be the same one reattached.
Could you reattach someone else's arm?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it would have to be
Same blood type?
Kraft's like original body. I think it's kind of like you can't ship a Theseus Kraft, unfortunately.
Oh, that's true. Because then where's the craft start and end? No one knows.
This sounds like the kind of thought I would think about when high, which reminds me of MK's question. Baked Sale from a third-party animal POV may be my absolute favorite one-off comic issue of the season so far.
Hell yeah, dog.
That wasn't a question, just a great observation. My question is, if we had to commission a legitimate single-issue comic based on a moment from the season so far, players and Eric, what would it be?
Oh.
Good question. We've had so many great splash panels that, like, any of those would be exciting to see illustrated.
I agree with Brandon. I would want like 3 or 4 splash panels instead of like a full comic. Because I mean, the one, like, these are just like not self-contained. That's just like not how masks work. Like, or like one comic book is supposed to be like a 3-hour session, and obviously we split them in half. So like 2 episodes is probably one comic to me. But yeah, I agree with Brandon on the splash panels.
If anyone's out there and wants to make a splash panel of any of the ones we've already said, that would be dope as fuck.
My hot take, and it's a little bit of who can say, but I really like the next episode. And then getting a full comic of that one would have been really, really fun.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
I would also say the one where we're downstairs for the Mad Science meetup was very fun.
That's true.
Just to see all the mad scientists in the background, like the way that someone would illustrate all of the background characters would have been dope.
Yeah.
I was also thinking about the first moments of this campaign with Eric narrating Wordsmith in the sewers and like getting ready for school to start, and then him ending in principal mode in that boiler suit. I think would be an incredible just prelude to everything we've been doing in this campaign.
Yeah, that'd be a good one too.
Dude.
And maybe one where, you know, it spends a whole 30 pages with Connor where it's sad and he's a kid who gets turned into a monster and it's just like really sad the entire time and it's all about Connor. That'd be good too.
Oh,
Yeah, sure.
Very Peter Parker review.
I really want just a splash panel of Dr. Rom showing the there's no such thing as the multiverse slide, and then seeing like all the seniors sitting in the classroom. Like, that's a very My Hero Academia sort of thing. It's like, look at these 25 characters like all doing one thing together, and like I was happy for that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You hate artists, don't you?
Shout out to Sarah Barrow wherever you are.
We also have a fairly definitive and unmasking, I would say, in this episode where Dr. Rom uses the Voidulin detection device, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
Scott M. asked, Amanda, how does Rowan feel about a device showing Voidy Lynn? And I think the answer, Scott, is relieved. I think
Really?
thinking about whether or not to reveal the fact of Voidy Lynn. She has like talked about it a bit to Miss Rita. That didn't quite go as planned. And just being fully honest after the aborted secret keeping of Miriam, and like so much has been happening that Rowan has had to keep on the DL, and just giving an authority figure the truth and seeing if they can help. I think in that moment was the first layer of relief.
Interesting. I would not have guessed relief would be the thing you said. So yeah, That's interesting.
To that point, I also want to say that, like, you guys can mess with me and do whatever you want, but I feel a lot more, like, free in masks is kind of just, like, do shit to you. So, like, the fact that Dr. Ram was just like, yeah, beep, 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 look, look at Whitey, there she is, Whitey Lynn. I felt better about doing it in masks than I would in D&D. I felt like I would need a spell, and then you should be able to counterspell it if you wanted to. Like, it's being able to do those movements I thought was important.
Players, why do we think that Dr. Ram knew to look out for Voidy Lynn?
I bet there's someone in his past who had a similar, like, manifestation of their powers.
Excellent question. Tanky Doodle Dandy wondered the same. If Dr. Ram knows to look out for signs of Voidy Lynn-esque manifestations, does that mean others at Water's Edge have one too? Or perhaps someone in Dr. Ram's past?
I thought of Voidy Lynn a little bit like how, like, all great artists have mental illness, you know? Like, it's kind of glib, sure, but also it's like, hey, if you feel like taking SSRIs, it's not going to stomp down the fact that you're a creative person, right? Like, you're going to be fine. And I think that felt similar to me. It's like, Rowan is at such a high power level, there might be some weird stuff happening. So Dr. Ram can just go, like, beep, 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 and figure that out.
So is the sort of inkling that something might be, or the, I guess, worry that something might be going on is just high-powered individuals?
Yeah, and especially because Rowan's been, like, holding back so much, and, like, Dr. Ram has access to Rowan's stats.
Yeah.
Like, we've talked about this before. Wordsmith has said this, that, like, Rowan tested off the charts originally when she showed up at, like, 13.
I've heard that before.
Can I tell you guys a quick story about my gifted and talented testing?
Oh my God, hell
This
yeah.
is going to be how the three of you don't study, isn't it?
No. Well, yes.
Not today.
But no,
Oy.
you had to take a I don't know, some sort of assessment test to get into the, like, the magnet school or whatever you call it. And one of them was, I was really young. I was maybe first, second grade. And one of them was like, bounce this tennis ball. And I took the tennis ball and I was like, what the shit is this? I don't want to do this shit.
Why?
The test is bounce a ball? Fuck you.
And they said, that child, he's going places.
That child's obstinance, that means he's smart.
Incredible.
He's not a sheep. Yeah, all right.
And then I didn't get in.
Nice.
The question surgeon, Michelle Spurgeon, also followed up with Rowan getting the answer essentially of don't worry about it for now regarding mentorship and her future, do you see her becoming more unhinged or maybe finding some Zen flow state and letting the future just come? And then related, could you foresee Rowan becoming a villain, or would she always make a conscious effort to try to do good and not be able to control herself? I think that is really the core question of this playbook is what do you do with this, potentially limitless power? Do you control it? Do you let it control you? Do you accept what consequences come when you tap into, your full nature? Or do you hem and haw and hold back and modulate? And that's something that Rowan is dealing with. I think that for Rowan, the danger of just leaning into getting her way no matter the cost is super real. And that is why she takes so seriously issues of, letting herself get out of control, making sure people know how to stop her, making sure that nothing is a slippery slope. She's like adding those little grippies from hospital socks to like every single surface in her life to stop things from sliding in any direction at any time.
Dr. Ram also noticed that for sure. Like, that's also part of it.
I'm excited for the end of this campaign where it's revealed that Rowan was the big bad the whole time.
Ooh. Yoinks.
Well, I guess Rowan can go to super powered teenage academy featuring Fatberg.
It's featuring Fatberg? Wow.
Featuring. He got a featuring credit.
It's got that Tom Hanks credit on the end there.
But it's featured like, Macklemore and Ryan Lewis. It's like, why is Ryan Lewis in the billing?
It's pretty good.
I'm also very curious to see, now that Mentors has been introduced to the plot, if you don't have to reveal it, but if you've thought about what a good match for your character would be.
Yes.
Okay. Brandon.
Honestly, I have not given great thought to it yet, but I am going to now.
Okay.
So I'm excited by it. Because I feel like Connor he's not like a slacker, but he is a bit of a slacker. So like, I feel like he would sort of, because he hasn't had to work for anything in his life because he's a super baby,
Well, you didn't know that at the time.
No, but I feel like he would be accepting of what is offered to him and maybe make a choice among choices or make a choice among options, but we'll see. I don't know.
I've been thinking about the mentors you guys will get.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about it. Maybe I've already done something about it. Who knows?
Maybe.
Well, folks, any other questions, thoughts, observations before we head off into Who Can Say / next issue on Join the Party?
I am obsessed with how we're all obsessed with finding out all the personal information about Dr. Rom. I think that's such a funny bit.
Dude, we finished this episode with Dr. Rom glimpsed under a bridge, hanging out with some shady characters, and you know that nothing is going to stand between us and finding out invasive personal details about that man's life.
Shady because they're cloud cover.
Yeah.
Is that the wordplay?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
It was.
Do we think he's dating one of the cloud cover people?
I don't know.
So stupid.
Maybe he's dating a student. Maybe he's dating Dalton Joe. Or
Oh,
she
no.
Ew, no.
He said
he's
good
not
person,
creep.
Benny. Good person.
Even if he's a complicated bad teacher, he's not a creep.
Who knows?
It is so funny from like this adult side, and also me being a teacher and friends of mine who are teachers, and like trying to make them like complicated adults, and then you three playing like teenagers again and being like, no, give me education, give it to me, I want to be teenagers. And I'm like, man, these three are trying. They're trying so hard. Remember when Connor beat up a teacher and no one cared? Like, Jesus Christ, it's really hard out here.
He tried to kill me first.
No, he
They did. They did.
We explicitly had this conversation in episode 21 again. We can't keep doing it.
Alrighty, folks, let's turn to the last page of this particular issue for Who Can Say / next issue on Join the Party.
Yeah.
From Penguin. What are everyone else's moments of truth? I
find out.
need to know when we are going to see them because this episode got me so pumped for the rest of the campaign. It feels like the first really big problem the gang had to solve together, and it's just going to get better and better from here.
Hell yeah.
I will say, I don't think Amanda and I have unlocked ours yet, so it might be
Correct.
some time before you see Rowan and Crafts.
But I don't mind sharing that is the next thing I'm going to do when I level up.
Same, big same.
Well, you guys should try like failing some rolls.
I'm doing my best.
Sorry, it's too
Eric,
hard. Sorry,
They
I
fail
can't do
rolls
that.
all the time. I'm
It's
the
too
one
hard.
that doesn't fail rolls
Okay, all right.
in this campaign.
That's why you unlocked your moment of truth already.
Like, just like I don't study, like I can't fail. It's just hard for me to do.
We should next start of next episode we'll say how many advancements we've had and we'll compare who's had the worst rolls because this game system has built in a tracking
does.
system.
It's true.
It
We
does.
know. We know.
Is no one looking out for these missing kids? Have they not been found after 6 weeks? They've missed so much school.
They are. They are. People
are.
are looking for the children.
They said that it's being taken care of, and we just have to take the adult's word at it.
You mean like at a school? You mean like what adults do
Yeah.
for children?
Yeah.
And finally, what shenanigans are the gang going to get into now that they have a little nugget about Dr. Rom's personal life? Is Crafts going to tap his phone? We've got to have an entire episode dedicated to this investigation.
Agreed. We'll do a one shot all about
Well-
Dr. Rom's personal life.
So it's gonna be you guys listening to me narrate a short story, like fanfic of my own campaign of him going home after a day of teaching.
Well, one of us gets to play his girlfriend, and someone plays his mom, and someone plays an old friend who came to town, and
I
it'll
call
be fun.
girlfriend.
No,
be
it's not a
great.
one shot as you're listening to my fanfic.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right, folks, that'll do it for this after party. Thank you so much. And remember, players, just leave everybody with a bit of advice as we get into fall, back to school, academic season. Julia, you first.
If you don't sleep enough, you will start to hallucinate.
Great, Brandon.
That's very true. Try to eat at least one vegetable or fruit at your lunch. It was impossible for me, but it's a challenge for you.
Great, Eric.
You can be a good person and a bad teacher, and that might be better than being a good teacher and a bad person.
Yeah.
And for me, sometimes a passing grade is enough.
C's get degrees.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Later.
May your rolls trend ever upward.